Good morning, everybody. I really hate to do this, but I'm shooting a video from inside of my car because, as you can see from the flag up there, it is so windy. You could not even hear me talking. So I'm at Fort Delaware State Park, and I've zoomed in a little bit there. You're looking at the Delaware River and the structure that you can see across there. That's Fort Delaware, and it sits on Pea Patch Island. That's an island about a mile long in the middle of the Delaware River. And the fort there, along with Fort DuPont, which is downstream, and then directly across the river into New Jersey, there's Fort Mott. These three forts served as coastal defense up until, I want to say, right after World War II. They were decommissioned and turned into state parks. But they protected the ports at Wilmington and Philadelphia, upstream. Fort Delaware on the island over there, also, its fame really comes from its use as a Union POW camp. And the first, or among the first POWs that occupied Fort Delaware were men from Kernstown, the Battle of Kernstown. That's in Virginia, not far from my house. Later on, a great number of men from a Georgia regiment that were captured during the Battle of Gettysburg occupied the island over there. As far as Civil War prison camps go, and I'm using air quotes here, Fort Delaware wasn't that bad. I think the mortality rate was right around 7%. Whereas the Union POW camp up in New York, Elmira, which was probably the worst Union camp, the mortality rate there was around 24%. And of course, the worst of them all was the Confederate run camp in Andersonville, Georgia, where the mortality rate was around 29, maybe closer to 30%. So, using those numbers as a yardstick, Fort Delaware wasn't that bad. It was still pretty atrocious, though. And, there were a lot of deaths. I want to say around 2,400 Confederate POWs died there. I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 civilians died, and I think over 100 or right around 100 guards died over there as well. What it's really known for these days is the paranormal activity, and it's supposed to be one of the more haunted places in all of Delaware. And unfortunately, this time of year, you can't get over there. There's a ferry that runs from, I think, May to the end of September. So we can't get over there. I'd take you all over there and show you around. But there's a lot of reports of the apparitions of former Confederate POWs. There's a dungeon inside the fort where people have heard chains clanging and that sort of thing, screams, just the kind of thing you'd expect from a prison, from places that have had a lot of violence and that sort of thing. So anyway, I thought I'd show you all that today. Sorry I'm sitting here in my car doing it, but at least you can hear me this way. So thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to y'all later.